"His throat is slit, my lady," the dairymaid said, looking down at her milk-wet wooden shoes. "Whose?" "A sad fellow." Mercy's raspy voice sounded older than her years. Her russet hair was plastered to her sunburnt forehead. "Who learnt the lads yonder?" she said, cocking her head in the direction of what used to be the family chapel, but was now the schoolhouse. "Master Dalton." Mercy nodded. "He's on a plank behind the kitchens," she said, then added, "Stabbed in the heart, too." If Mercy knew that Father Dalton was a priest, she was not letting on. That was the protocol at Lufanwal Hall. He was Master Dalton to the outside world, and Father Dalton to the family. By the time Katharine reached the courtyard, the men had covered his corpse with a cloth. She knelt, made the sign of the cross, and placed the herbs she had gathered on the body. It was the 15th of August, Assumption Day. In the past, these sweet bundles of nature would have been blessed by a priest and then used as remedies and to ward off harm. But the blessing of the herbs and the feast to celebrate the Virgin's Ascension had been banned. Richard approached on horseback. In spite of the heat, he wore a black cloak flecked with dirt. When he saw his cousin, he frowned. "Nothing you need to see," he said, dismounting. "I came to pay my respects," Katharine countered, still kneeling. "Don't worry, we'll give him a proper funeral," he said, stalking into the house through the kitchens and knocking into one of the scullery maids. A pot crashed to the floor. Father Dalton had left that morning dressed as a schoolmaster in a white cambric shirt, black linen jerkin, and large black-rimmed hat. He had said he would be gone less than a fortnight. He did not say where he was going, and Katharine had not asked, thinking perhaps he was on a mission for the Jesuits. While she'd watched him set out on his journey, she had prayed for his safety. Now she wished that weeks ago the young man with the chiseled chin had burned the forbidden chasuble and fled, that he'd gone to France, Italy, Spain, or the Low Countries on the North Sea. He often said he wanted to live where he could hear the waves, breathe the salt air, and she'd taken to imagining him in his life after Lufanwal, alone, reading, in a whitewashed cottage by the sea. Katharine was tempted to pull the cloth back and place her lips on his forehead, but she'd seen too much death over the years, and she wanted to remember Father Dalton alive, not as he was now, a reliquary of bones and rotting flesh. She pushed herself up, wiped the tears from her eyes, and brushed the dust from her skirt. On his last evening, the young priest had given her a copy of the New Testament in English, translated by a group of exiled priests. The inscription was in Latin. Date et dabitur vobis. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Dei gratia. By the grace of God. Amicus usque ad horas. A friend until the altars, until death. And below those words he had signed his name. Then, as a postscript, he had added, Deus nobiscum, cuis contra? God is with us, who can be against us? Who indeed, Katharine thought as she walked toward the house. The priest sent by the Molyneux family had skin so pale that Katharine wondered if he was a visitation from the great beyond. In the dim light of the secret chapel, his face was translucent, a stain of blue beneath the white. He was tall but frail. The space between skin and bone hid no fat, and he seemed no wider than the flickering taper next to which he stooped. His chasuble dripped from his arms like wax. Domine, Jesu Christe, Rex Gloriae.